Okay, so this is cost accounting in the fall term number one. This is the summary of chapter one and chapter two that we may need. Oh, there we go, that's better. That we may need in working on our homework and looking uh, over our chapters for the coming week. First off, my name is Mike Bandy. I am a CPA in Richlands and Bluefield. I'm also an assistant professor here at Bluefield College. This is my second year. I also have a master's degree in taxation, which sounds like sick puppy kind of work, but hey, God loves us all. So, looking at chapter one, we're basically concerned with types of costs, and we're also concerned with the value chain business function. So, remember, there are the different items of the value chain are production, distribution, marketing, design, research, and customer service. As we're looking at how these costs work into the accounting system and into the business system, we can look at costs that are associated with production. What did we have to pay to produce this product? Those are production costs. As far as design or research, what about items that we have to pay for that we're using to develop a new product? We're having to pay cost to design a new product. We're having to pay cost for researching a new product. What about marketing? We have to pay costs like advertising and promotion that let people know about our product. So those fall under marketing. We also look at customer service. What about people that I have to pay to take the phone calls of the people that have questions? What about my cashiers? What about the people that wait on me as far as taking my order and things like that? Those all fit into the value chain business function. And those are the types of costs that you'll have to be aware of. You'll also need to be aware of planning and control as it comes to the type of costs that we pay for either planning our operation or controlling our operation. From the text, planning is the process of establishing objectives or goals for the firm and determining the means by which they will be met. So basically, we're defining objectives, we're creating a production plan. When we do those two things, we're looking at planning. It may be something like I'm raising a fee, I may be increasing the cost because I'm planning on generating more revenue. Control, on the other hand, is the process of monitoring the company's operations and determining whether the objectives identified in the planning process are being accomplished. So think of it like formative versus summative. In a formative evaluation, I am determining where I am or where I want to be. In a summative evaluation, I'm determining did I get there. So with planning, I am coming up with strategies, and there are costs associated with these strategies of helping me obtain the plans and objectives and goals that I have for my company and for my department. Whereas control deals more with, okay, did I get there? If I didn't get there, what corrective actions am I going to take? Also, under management and accounting guidelines, there are three approaches we can take. There's the cost benefit approach, there's the behavioral and technical considerations, and there's also different costs for different purposes. Cost benefit is pretty self explanatory. If I pay this cost, am I going to get a greater benefit out of what I just paid for than what I paid for it? If my benefit is greater than my cost, then I'll take it. If not, then I won't. As far as behavioral and technical considerations, think of it this way. There are different cultures, not just in different places in the world, but in different places in our community. In one part of our community, paying bonuses may be more accepted than giving raises, for example. That depends on the culture. Someone who may be offended by not getting a raise may be perfectly okay with it if they're getting a bonus instead. So there are behavioral and technical considerations there we have to be aware of. Finally, different costs for different purposes. GAAP may allow you to expense something for one purpose, but capitalize it for a separate purpose. It's the same cost, but it's being categorized in different ways. It's being treated as a different cost for a different purpose. On a tax return, I may expense a cost because the tax laws will let me. In the same vein, I may capitalize it for GAAP so that my income and my profit is more accurately reported from a financial statement, from a GAAP or a generally accepted accounting principle standpoint. Therefore, I have different types of cost and I report them differently. It's also important to understand the difference between a CFO, a chief financial officer, and a controller. The difference really comes down to the CFO is a leader and the controller is a manager. Well, what's the difference? Well, a leader is in charge of establishing the vision of the company or of the organization. The controller is there to make sure that the things that need to be done get done. Think of it this way. A leader, a CFO, is there to do the right things. A controller is there to do things right because they're a manager. Okay, so a controller may be analyzing little parts and big parts of costs and accounting systems and production schedules and so on and so forth. The CFO may be in charge of negotiating an audit fee with the accounting firm that's going to do the audit. They may be in charge of strategic planning for, okay, we're going to take on this project. What's it going to cost us? That's up to the controller. But the CFO has the vision to relay to upper management and to ownership. Also, the CFO is responsible for presenting reports and presenting progress of what the company is doing to the stockholders, to the board of directors. So remember, CFOs are leaders, controllers are managers. Finally, let's talk about violations, potential violations, and non-violations concerning how we do things in our financial statements. Now, it's okay to follow GAAP. It's okay to follow industry practice if you are recording transactions. But think of it this way. Let's say that my company is doing okay, but not as well as it should. Bear in mind, I have a board of directors and I have stockholders that really want to see us do a good job. I'm simply the humble manager. I'm there to try to make sure that the amount of growth that the stockholders and board wants happens. Well, how do I reduce profit? Well, or how do I increase profit? I'm sorry. I increase profit by reducing costs or increasing revenue. Well, okay. What if I have a check for a vendor that I could pay at the end of December, at the end of my fiscal year, but maybe I slide it till January? Well, my expenses are less, so that must mean that my profit is more. So I just made myself look better by moving a cost from the end of the current year to the beginning of the next year. That's not really cool. That is a violation. You shouldn't do that. I could also front load revenue. Okay, maybe I received money for something I'm going to do later in the next year for a company, but I count it as revenue now because I received it. That's a potential violation. It's not cool. What if I choose this month to not have the cleaning company come in and do a complete cleaning of my business? Perhaps I push off something that I was going to do this month, but it'll wait till next month. I'll just suck it up and it'll be okay. Well, that's okay. That's making a managerial decision, and you're not cooking the books. You're not making anything look better or worse than it is. It just actually is what it is. You just decided to make a decision that pushes an expense off that didn't happen this month because you decided it wasn't going to. So as you are a controller and a CFO and you're looking at cost, man, make sure that you're reporting things the way they're supposed to be reported in the proper time, in the proper methodology. So that's a very brief overview of Chapter 1 in our cost accounting. Please take care of the homework problems. There are 5 of them. They're due by 8/26, and they're due by 11:59 p.m. on the Pearson module. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Feel free to text me. Feel free to come see me at my office. Just let me know. It's an 8-week accelerated course. We're going to get through it A-OK. But do not drown, and do not hesitate to contact me if you need help. Have a great week. I'll see you next time.